Good morning, or is it afternoon? I lost track of time. I think it's afternoon. I've been on the go. And then, let me look at the clock. It's afternoon. Anyway, just a really quick tutorial. I've been getting messages and comments about coloring the resist for hand painting, and I just wanted to share with you guys how I do it. It's actually very simple, but it does require testing. When you guys add dye to your resist, it is very important that you test it before you use it on a very large flag, because you will be very sorry and you will be regretting if it doesn't work correctly or if it's not the color that you wanted it. So I do urge you to please get to know your resist, get to know your dye, and really test it after you're done. So how do we do that? We take a small piece of silk and we apply the resist to it, and then you could steam it like in a bamboo steamer, where on top of a pot. So this way you don't have to set up that whole big steamer just for that little piece of silk. Or if you're steaming your larger silks, then you could probably place that little piece of silk, handkerchief size is enough, between paper, and then just roll it in with the rest of the silks that are going to be steamed. But please make sure that you steam it, and that you wash it, and that you see the color, and you see the opacity, and see if that's what you want it to be. When I first started tinting resist, I had no idea what I was doing. I actually went online and I found out exactly how to do it from Dharma. Good afternoon, Madeline. God bless you. And I was basically just testing things out, and I have some things that were not really looking good at all. I mean, I really made some mistakes on the resist to where it wasn't diluted correctly. It was too runny. The color that I used wasn't strong enough. So when I washed it off, the lines came out like a tan color. They look dirty. Like one time I tried doing the black resist, and oh boy, they came out like a silver. So just make sure. Yes, everybody's doing good. Yes, Madeline, what is your question? Just make sure that you test it after you prepare it. So I'm gonna turn the camera around. Okay, Madeline, that sounds good. I'm gonna be turning the camera around and kind of show you what we use. Let's see. Okay, and I hope you guys can see this. I'm gonna try to lower it as much as I can. I'm gonna put it, kind of angle it in a way that I could probably see. So what I do have is the resist that we talked about last week. There's different ways that you could do this. You could do it with dye already, like the jacquard, or you could do it with powder. My preferred way is dye, but if you have a color that you don't have on the dye, and you have the acid dye in powder, you could do it this way as well. You just have to make sure that you make a paste with the powder, kind of like break it up, and then add that paste like in a small measuring cup like this, and then add the resist and make sure that you really work it. I have a little whisk that I actually bought at the hair place, like Sally's. These are made for bleach and hair color. And as you guys can see, I don't do my hair color or the bleach, but my daughter actually told me that they sell these. So I have 2 of these that I use to mix the dye, emulsify the powder into the water, and then go right ahead and add more water to it. And in this case, it would be the Resist. So what do we color the Resist for? This is the brown that I used on the lion. Keep in mind that you could actually dye it any color that you want. Even if you don't have the color in your dye, you could actually mix the color, maybe in a little thing like this. Start very small amounts. Mix the color until you come up with the color that you like, and then add it to your Resist. I really don't need to be making any Resist today, but for the purpose of the tutorial, I hate to waste stuff. So I'm actually gonna be doing it in another color that I don't have, so that I could probably find something to do with it. Good morning. How are you? ¿Cómo estás? Dios te bendiga. So this one is made with the Jacquard acid dye, and this is Aztec Gold. And this is what you saw in the lion that looks really bright and really deep yellow. If you look at the post, probably a couple of posts ago from yesterday, this is that actually bright yellow, and this is what it looks like in the bottle. So what I did was I took a very small amount and I measured it with a tiny spoon, and I put it in a little cup like this. I added a little bit of water, probably like maybe a teaspoon of water, but the water was very hot. And then I emulsify it, meaning that I beat it or I squished it until everything was broken down, everything was diluted, and then I went ahead and I added it to the Waterbase Resist. Now, when you do this, when you're working with these dyes, even if it's powder or you're already made, it works better if you use the highly concentrated dyes. Like the red label is actually very highly concentrated compared to your green label Jacquard. So what I actually do is I usually tend to buy the red label for those colors that I use the most, but also for the colors that I'm going to be using to make Resist. So because I have done so many lions in the past, I have a red label Jacquard that of the sienna brown and the chocolate brown that I use to make the Resist for the outline of the lion. Now, this color by itself is not just chocolate brown, it's not just sienna brown. It's actually a combination of those two colors plus the apricot. I just mix my own colors and I make my own hues. So when you look at this, I don't know if you guys are familiar. Let me see if I could turn this around. No. I'm trying to get you as close as I can. Can you guys see? Hi, Shakima. Good morning. So basically, excuse my hands. I have dye. I've been painting. So for the gold, it's gonna lay like that on the silk. And that's the hue that you're gonna get once you rinse it, probably lighter than that. And then for the brown, that has the three colors, it has like a golden tone to it. I don't know if you can see it, but it's not completely chocolate. It's not sienna. It just has the right amount of all three colors. So mix your colors prior to mixing it with the resist. So going back to how do we make the resist? Now I already told you, you got to make sure that you have your ink ready. For the resist, you have to take into consideration your bottle. So if you have a bottle that holds 2 ounces, first of all, try not to make extra resist. Try to make only the resist that you need, because it's better when you use it fresh. Sometimes if you let it sit, the color will separate from the resist along with the water that's in the resist. So you're gonna have to really take the time to mix it really, really good before you use it again. And it's gonna be separated. And sometimes it separates to a point that when you actually use it, you're actually gonna have the clear resist and then the color, because it's so watery, it would actually bleed on the silk. So you have to really make sure that you mix it really good and try to make just as much as you're gonna use in the next couple of days or maybe in the next couple of weeks. Try not to make it in large amounts. So you're gonna take into consideration the size of the bottle. This bottle is a 2-ounce bottle. And what I actually do, I like, if the bottle is flat like this, I would reconsider mixing it in it. I would actually mix it here and then with a little spatula, or even I used, these are the shish kebabs sticks, kind of scrape it off to pour it into the bottle once it's mixed really good. Because with this bottle, it's just hard for it to really mix. So when you have the round bottle, you actually have space that you could actually put it here. So when I started, this is what I did. I want to put 1 part of dye to 3 parts of resist. So 1 part of dye to 3 parts of resist. So what you actually do, you don't want to fill up, if you're going to mix it in the bottle, you don't want to do it all the way to the top. So you're going to calculate your 3 parts. Let me get a marker so that you guys can get a visual. If you're anything like me, I need a visual. Hold on. Let me see if I can. I want to try to. Can you guys see good? Okay. So, I can't see your comments, so bear with me. I'll go back to you guys here in a minute. So, you want to try to make your resist probably up to here. You want to leave enough space for you guys to be able to shake it. If you're going to mix it in a bottle. And basically what you do is you're going to do 3 parts of resist. That looks pretty even, right? And then you're gonna add 1 part of dye. So, and I'm just doing this so that you guys can see. Depending, and that's for very dark. I mean, that's for really, really, how can I say this? Concentrated color. I mean, you're basically gonna get a lot of pigment if you do that much. You're gonna play around with it. That's why it's so important. You got your napkin down here that you actually test how bright or how deep the color is. And basically how you do it is by just squeezing the bottle like I did earlier, and then taking your finger. Please wear a glove. I just hate gloves, so. And kind of going like this so that you could actually see the hue and how intense the color is. Once you get the color that you think that it is, then you're gonna test it. But let me go back to the mixing. So before you put the dye, it is easier for you to pour the resist first. because the resist is so thick that it will actually, when you pour the dye, it would actually sit on top of the resist, and you will be able to see just how much dye you put on it. Amen? So once you do that, or whatever color it is, then you're gonna mix it. It takes a lot of mixing. I'm gonna be honest with you, sometimes I get desperate and I take my little sticks, or I take a cheap, one of those really dollar store brushes to mix it in inside of the bottle. If you really want good consistency and you don't think that you are able to mix it really well in this bottle, then that's when I suggest and recommend that you use this. And you're basically gonna use the same thing. You're basically gonna do 3 parts, select your measurement, which in this case, we could probably do teaspoons right here. So we know that up to here is 3 teaspoons. Hold on, let me point to this. Up to here is 3 teaspoons, and up to here is 6. So if you're gonna do 3 teaspoons of resist, then you know that that's your 1 part of dye right there. Can you guys see that? Let me see if I put the napkin inside. Okay, there we go. You see it better? There we go. So you have 3 parts, and then up to here with the dye. And then you're gonna mix it really good. And if you want it to be more intense, if you want your color to be more intense, then you add drop by drop. Don't go crazy. Don't go crazy. Because what happens is the resist gets, I'm gonna turn this around. The resist gets really watery, and you don't want it to be watery, because once you lay it on the silk, if it's too watery, it's gonna spread and your lines are not gonna be defined. So you wanna make sure that you get a happy medium to where you have the color that you want, but at the same time, the resist is not so watery. In a lot of cases, like for the gold, you really don't need a lot of dye, and I love the fact that you're really not using a lot of water. When you get the dyes that are highly concentrated, then it's actually better, because you know that you not really have to put so much dye into the resist in order to achieve the opacity or the pigmentation that you want. Now, when you use your regular dyes from Jacquard, like the green label, you have to make sure that you are really watchful on the consistency. So once you do that, once you have it in your cup or you have it in your bottle, 3 parts to 1, and you mix it, you're gonna test it. And you're gonna test it in a, like I said earlier, you gotta make sure that you test your resist by steaming that 1 part. You know, grab yourself a little piece of fabric, of silk, or a handkerchief of the weight that you're going to be painting, and just do a doodle on it, wait for it to dry, wrap it in paper, and steam it. You could probably get away with steaming it on a stovetop. You don't probably need a bamboo steamer. Maybe you could do a vegetable steamer just with a little bit of water, but make sure that the water doesn't reach that area there, kind of hang it from the top of the pot, and just test it out, steam it for as long as you usually will steam your regular silk, and then wash it out to really look at the color of the resist. Is that making sense, guys? I'm gonna go in here. So I'm gonna repeat it really quick. It's fun. It's like having chemistry. No, sir. You take your resist, 3 parts of resist, and a mixing cup. You can even go as little as this. And 3 parts to 1 part of dye. You mix it up really good. Make sure that it's really mixed, because you don't want to be using your resist and then getting, you know, pouring out, lining some lines that are more deeper than others, or sometimes getting clear spots. So make sure that you really mix it really good. Hi Ruth, God bless you. So 3 parts of resist, 1 part of dye. If you want it to be lighter, if you want this color to be lighter, you add more resist. If you want it to be darker and more richer, remember, use one of these pipes. Let me see if I find it here. Pipe, a dropper, which I usually have with me at all times. Oh, here we go. Here it is. I buy the disposable ones from Dharma. You could get them on Amazon too. But just drop the color little by little. Don't go crazy on the color, because you don't want your resist to be too watery. Then once you do that, you put it in your bottle and you put the top on it and you test it out. Before each use, make sure that you shake this really good. I mean, these bottles are kind of hard for you to cover the spout, and it's so thin that it actually hurts your finger, especially if you're going like this. I actually have a couple of these tops that came from Fine Line bottles. I got them in Dharma. They're more expensive. That's where these came from, these flat bottles. But I don't like the flat bottle that much. So what I use, it just so happens that the cap for this fits this. And I am able to, it has a, hold on a second. It has a needle cover. So this here goes here. And I am able to really shake it. And I go like this. I mean, I'll be beating this thing up. Hi, Rhonda, God bless you. Amen. Amen. I received that. So you want to make sure that you mix it really good, and then you test it. Not taste it. Don't taste it. Test it. One of the things maybe you guys want to invest in one of these bottles that come with this cap. This doesn't belong to this, because they're just really, really good. And I'll show you what I love about them. You go to the store, you could go to Amazon, and you could actually get needles, replacement needles. When you get, which I love this bottle, but the needle is just, if it breaks, it breaks. You can't really, so what happens is you basically just lost a top, and you have a bottle without a top if it breaks. So with these bottles, with these tops, I wish I had the original, but I removed the thing. They're in Dharma. I'll probably look for the link and I'll share with you guys. It's a 3-part system. So you have the cap, then you unscrew. Oops. It fell. Oh, here we go. You unscrew this, and now you have this right here, which unscrews right there. And you could buy different sizes of needles and replace them. These are 15 gauge. I use 15 gauge and 16 gauge. That's my favorite size. So let's say that you have a different color of resist and your needle has the residue of it. You just put on another needle, brand new, screw it on, put this on, secure it, put your cap, and I love it that it has a needle inside of it, so it actually keeps your needle nice and clean. And then put it on top of your bottle. And there you have it. So these are really, really handy. These are very inexpensive. and it's worth it. It really is. So you guys have any questions whatsoever? I think I covered everything. How to 3 parts to 1 part, add resist or add dye, test it on a napkin, and then once you think you have the right color, test it on silk, steam it, and wash it so that you can see the result before you start doing a huge silk, and then you don't get the results that the Lord placed in your heart, basically that vision. You're not going to get it unless you test it. So make sure that you test it, and then you could use powder. Make sure you emulsify it before you add it to your resist. Concentrated dyes are better than regular dyes because they don't water down the resist as much. Make small batches. I'm just rolling through my head, and I think that's it. You're welcome, Rhonda. You're welcome. Let's see. Let me look through the comments. God bless everyone. Shakima, Cherise, big hugs. Barb, do you have any questions at all? Donna, I know there's so much to learn. Oh my God. And the thing is, I was telling my husband last night, I said, you know, I look back and there was a lot of trial and error, but it was good. It was good because I didn't have anyone back 6 years ago. I really didn't have anyone, and to really guide me in this process, especially when not everybody used these kind of dyes. In anything and everything that I have been doing, I really didn't have anyone. So it's nice to be able to come this far, and it's nice to be able to have had those trial and errors, because now I'm able to share with you guys. And if you guys have any questions, just, you know, make sure that you just don't think I'm gonna, even if I'm busy, I'll get back to you. Even if it's the next day or at nighttime, early in the morning, I'll get back to you. Let me see what else. I want to show you some things that I found that have been really helpful. When I dyed, when I painted Living Waters with you guys through the tutorials last week, the silk was so big that I had to walk around it with a wet brush because the tray that I have to hold the dyes was really big. So in order for me to walk around that silk, because the frame was so big, I really couldn't turn it around. I was afraid of spilling. I don't know if you guys remember how the tray looked, but it's very open, very shallow. And I was very afraid of spilling the dyes over the flag. I was afraid of spilling it all over the place. And I said, there's gotta be something that I could find that will allow me to keep the dyes, but comfortable enough, deep enough for me to keep them there. And wouldn't it be great if I find something with a lid? Because one of the things that you guys have to think about when you are painting silk, just make sure, you know, I used to put the tray inside of a Ziploc bag to keep the dye fresh, because it does dry up and it crystallizes into the tray. And you could add water to it to reconstruct it, but it's not the same. It really is not the same. It never comes back the way that it was originally. So I went hunting. And I found this awesome tray. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna close this so I can show you guys. And I got it this week in the mail. I ordered it and I said, well, I hope this it looks small. But then I said, well, let me give it a try, because it was only $8.97. I think is what I paid for this. And what it is this. So it has a lid that actually keeps all the dyes nice and fresh. So you can walk away and a day later, 2 days later, the dye is still intact. It's still working. I've been working out of this tray since Wednesday all the way through last night when I made in the secret place. and all the colors were so nice and fresh. It's actually like an inch deep. So you're able to keep all of your dyes. Again, don't go little by little because you don't want to waste it. Even though it's here, once it's here, the only way you're going to get it from here to the bottle is by using one of these. Because if you try pouring it, you're going to get all the colors mixed together. So again, try to start little by little, just with a quarter. Dyes go a long way, especially for French painting. So this worked out really good, and I love that the lid is airtight and it has their own, each little compartment has their own grid. So everything is nice and sealed. And it fits here when you're painting. And I could carry it around the silk and I had no problem. I mean, I really loved it and I still love it. So that's one of the things that that I got. And then the other thing I'm actually sharing so that you guys can laugh, because as you guys know, we did that 102-inch silk, and my brush compared to the silk is very small. So I was saying, I wish I had a little bit bigger brush. And because I told you guys these are very affordable, they're made in Dominican Republic and they're called Simply Simmons. And the round is my favorite. I said, well, let me go and see if I could find one, a bigger one. So I went into my stash of brushes, and I said it would be great if it was this size, right? It's just double. But I couldn't find the number anywhere because this thing is probably like 9 years old. This thing is old. So I went into Amazon and I found the same brand of these. And it said extra large, and then it said 50. So if I let myself go by this, I'm just warning you guys. This is a 20. It's backwards, but it's right here, and it's a 20. So I'm thinking a 50 will probably be, like that big, probably, Next day, because you know how Amazon is, I get this box, and it's like this big, the width of my shoulders. And my husband says, did you order something? I said, well, yeah, I ordered the brush. So I get this box and I shake it. And I'm like, I just ordered a brush. This is the brush I got. It is huge. I mean, this is my thumb. This is my thumb. It is really, really huge. And I gotta tell you, it's very absorbent. Just like I said and bragged about these, they're very absorbent. It's the same company. It says 50, see? And it's the same company. Very absorbent. Remember the little tray I got? The thing is so big. One dip of this brush into the well of this absorbs the whole thing. I just wanted to make you guys just laugh with me. Is it going back? No, it's not going back. I paid $14 for it. I used it yesterday to blend the colors. So I actually wet it, dried it with a towel, blot it. And I was able to blend all those beautiful colors that you saw in the flag yesterday. So yeah, it is a keeper, but definitely not for that kind of stuff. Unless you're gonna be doing the same color for a very long space, you know. But yeah, just wanted to show you. I mean, look at my finger. So I just wanted to share with you guys. But they're cool. They're cool. So you have the tray, and these are the findings that I've found so far. So just enjoy. Anyway, I hope I amused you. It's a beautiful day. It's raining here in Florida. Just wanted to share with you guys, you know, what we're doing, and basically about the recess, because I did get a lot of excuse me, I'm chewing gum. I did get a lot of requests on how to mix the recess, and that's fine. I am willing to share. So if you have any questions, I hope this covered it all. If you have any questions, let me scroll down to the bottom to see. Can you use powder dye? Gemma, yes, you can. You just have to emulsify it. Like put the powder in, and then take a little bit of water and emulsify it. Make like a soft paste. And then when you're using powder, I really recommend that you use a glass container that it's easy for you to scrape off, like this one. This one is like a couple dollars at Walmart. I've had it for years. So just make sure that you emulsify it and then you mix it really well. And the reason why you emulsify it first is because you don't want granules of powder in your recess, and then when you're using your recess, some areas come darker, or you even have the speckling. So you want to make sure that you really emulsify that powder before you mix it with your recess. Let's see. Oh, Shikima. Oh, I'm hoping that I covered everything, Barb. Oh, Donna, I tried my best. Oh my God. Did you see that size? Yes, the brush. I know, it was killing. My husband even took a photo of it. He couldn't believe it. He went like this and took a photo of it. Oh my goodness. 1, 2, 3. Yes. 3, 2, 1. Unless you want it lighter, then you add more resist. And if you want it darker, then you add your dye little by little, drop by drop. Okay? Test your resist. Always test your resil. It will be worthwhile before you do it on a big silk, because you don't want to mess up silk. You don't want to waste it, or you don't want to achieve a result that you weren't planning on. So, but I love you guys. I'm praying for you guys. Thank you for blessing me with your presence and all your messages and your emails, and just thank you for blessing me. For just thank you. Know that I have you in my heart. Know that I have you in my prayers, and that I really, really, truly appreciate you. Some of you, I haven't met most of you, and I mean 90% I haven't met personally, but just know that you hold a very dear place in my heart for me. It's like I already know you, and I'm looking forward to more, and just thank you for being there. Thank you for your prayers, for your encouragement, for your words, and just know that you guys bless me immensely. I love you guys. I pray that you have a wonderful Saturday and a wonderful Sunday. Just continue to worship the Lord, continue to seek Him, and know that He loves you and He cares for you, and He's doing what is best for you in any shape, way, or form. God is a good God. He's a good Father. So He is going to give us what we need, and He's going to love you the best way that He knows how to love you. Each of us are individual, and He knows our hearts and our minds, and He knows everything about us. So not everybody needs the same kind of love. Sometimes we get so caught up trying to love someone the way we want to be loved. But in fact, we are all individuals, and what I may need in the way that the Father loves me may not be the same way that, for example, Donna and Gemma or any of you need to be loved. God will love you individually, and he is so detail oriented. He will love you the way that you need to be loved. So just give him thanks for loving you individually, for loving you so precisely the way that you need to be loved, and for always being there for you guys. He's an amazing Father, and continue to seek him. I love you guys, and just know that you are in my prayers. Have a blessed weekend, and whenever I see anything good, especially something like this, I will let you guys know. But just wanted to share. Mwah! Be blessed. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.